Tonight's season is brought to you by Taylor Logistics for all of your travel needs. Big thanks to Taylor Logistics for supporting Season 1 of Motive Racing Super GT3. The boys will get trophies. Sticker. Busy week of testing. Are at the back of the grid, and Susie Styles who quit out, but yeah, this is it for the future. So we're going to see more strategic driving, more strategic decisions from teams and drivers alike, because we have rain forecasted on the weather forecast, and we don't know how that's going to affect the race coming into it, or the strategies by the boys, but we're about to see. So Uber about coming up into turn 14, a tricky left-hander double apex, and all the boys behind, just about forming up. This is it for all the marbles now. They're going to form up side by side coming up into turn 16, and we're about to get going here for the last race of the night, the feature race. Ubar's going to take on the right-hand side, Chris on the left. Ubar will have the line, but it's up to him. Right, all the boys side by side now. We're about to get going for round 4, the feature race, the second race of the night for here at Motive Racing Super GT Saturday. Please stick with us. Got the LMP2 afterwards, but here we go. Motive Racing. It is the Team Thunder from down under that's going to lead the way. And there we go, go. Ubar has put his foot down and left his teammates standing. Kurt with a hell of a drive off there. We'll go a bit further back on board. Look at this, boys. Right way out there trying to cover the line. And it looks like all he had onto the brakes too was MS Shout. Seen him at the side. He has. Everyone avoided. That's great. It does look like, for all intents and purposes, Sebast there is getting a little nudge. And Forston's managed to catch up on the side. He's got the overspeed. Sebast very defensive coming round into turn 3. Tricky one. Then Forston dropped it here along with Sebast into the feature at the sprint race. So these boys not wanting to make any mistakes. A little further back, and it looks like our German driver's having a torrid time, and Heaven's there letting the guy back through. So fantastic to see the boys sort of marshalling themselves. Where is Dalavan? He's out on track at the minute. We'll go cockpit view. Very early morning here in the United Emirates, 5 a.m. We've got time progression, so with the sun shall come up. Someone's on the inside there. It's Dalavan and Sebast now, 2 title contenders side by side. We're going to go on board. Still behind now. Look at Dalavan in a prancing horse. That AMG's definitely got the legs. Coming up this short and straight. Where's Kurt in the background? Not as quick. Dalavan now pulling out of the draft onto the tricky braking zone. Tail likes to get sideways, and Kurt's had to trick evasive action, taking a brake marker with him. Lucky there by Kurt not to pick up any extensive damage. Managed to keep it in, pointing in the right direction. Just about tucks in behind. So back up with the lead group, and it looks like Sebastiano giving MS Schalke a bit of a nudge there. Needs to behave and be careful doing that. Ollie a little further up, tracing on Dicross. Dicross, of course, good outing, Peter. Last time around with our Puerto Rican driver. Let's go into the cockpit view as they're coming into turn 14 now. The tricky left-hander, Team Thunder, still holding P1 and 2. The Bentley upgraded chassis. See if the boys can get a result. Had an absolute horrid time in the sprint. Have been testing all week of the Team Thunder Bentley team, trying to understand the chassis, trying to understand where the pace is in that thing. It's a very fast car in a straight line, but as it stands at the minute, both the Team Thunder drivers really struggling. A little further back, where is Ayrton? Trying to line up MS Schelt. MS Schelt doing a job to try and get out the draft there. Has to be careful not to weave around too much. Sebastiano now, trying to line up our German driver. Further forward, looks like he's just about doing another break. So come out trackside now into P1. Fantastic. Back up with Team Thunder Racing. Dicross has managed to split him. And in the background there, the Flying Dutchman is sideways. The Team Thunder Racing reports from pit lane is happy now that the test went. Chris was showing good pace up in P1 at the minute, so the testing's very much true. They've brought updates to Ubar's car, but they don't look as if they're working as well as they are on the car in front, which is Chris. But still, a top 6 is Team Thunder's aim. So the Bentleys are first and third, aiming for a top 6 finish between them. Ollie sniffing on the inside now. Ubar, Flying Dutchman, maybe losing another spot. Great little cutback though there. A little further back, we'll just have a quick look at the action. Looks like Emma Shelton just a bit too far away from me, but Ernst Vass is going to have a hell of a shot here. as the boys dart out the draft, trying to put a bit of air into the front bumper there, trying to get them stopped. But go trackside now as the exit of turn 10. Fantastic driving so far. These boys are side by side, fighting throughout the field. And it looks like Chris has actually had to relinquish P1. The Team Thunder driver going down the order now. The Pog champ Diecross, his teammate, of course, Beartooth to Breeze J2Z Racing, isn't here tonight. And Chris keep on the back end of him. Managed to get a good drive out the last corner. Let's take a little look further back. Look at this. They're so close together. This is fantastic. I've been saying this from the very start. It doesn't matter where you are in Motive Racing League, whether you're first or last on the grid, there will be racing throughout the field. And this is a testament to it. Sebas gets it all wrong, giving Olimar, the French driver, a little love tap coming around there. Ollie manages to keep it pointing in the right direction. No harm done. That's a reminder there for the French driver that they've got the title contender right behind him. Ubar now with a fantastic shot. I'm thinking we're going to get it stopped there, Flying Dutchman for a second there, but Chris looks like just about catching onto the back of Diecross, so not having their own way. Fantastic driving. Doesn't look like ML Shout is very close on the back of that Bentley. Good shot of the Team Thunder Bentley there. New and upgraded chassis from Donington. Not how we're working great at the minute. Ubar down from P2 to P6. Side was there. Can he catch it? I think he did. The boys still side by side. Ubar's going to have to give it up. Wow, so close to one another. As we do every Super Saturday, we try and give you the best news that we possibly can. We're all going through a difficult time right now, so we can shed a bit of light and positivity on some good causes, and that is what we should do. So for this week at the GT3 League, I'll get the speedo up eventually. This week for the GT3 League, we'd like to put the spotlight on the amazing work the MS Society is doing. And would like to take a minute of your time to try and sit you down and get you involved. There are many ways to get involved, from your small cash donations to volunteer work. Every single challenge taken, every step, every cake sold, every penny earned helps us take a step together closer to stopping MS and Sylvester Fan just outside of the draft there. Little tap. These two going at it, hammer and tong. There is definitely Lamborghini paint up the side of that AMG. And these boys not willing to give it up. MS must have a good view of this now. It's going to be Sebastian who's going to have the... Ollie not willing to give it up, though. Good driving. Where is Ubar, the Dutch driver? He's having it out. Making a move off in front. Where is Chris? Look at the actual black delta there. It's telling us that second now to Chris in P2. Ubar on to the back end of what is... Dalavan, good outing in the future. I think he took sprint in the second, so if you've not seen that race, ladies and gentlemen, please join the link in the description for the Discord. It is 100% free. We have racing throughout the week. We've got the LMP2 cars coming up after this with the Flying Dutchman you see before you. He runs the league. We also have some exciting news from the Clio Cup. We have the GT5s, amongst others. Get yourself involved, all 100% free. And on that note, we do have a Motive Racing is proud to announce that ACC lands on console as of next month, and we are on the lookout for clean racers to join our ACC Discord. I'm very excited to see what the end result is going to be there, what lobby sizes are going to be for the console players. Hopefully we don't get screwed too much. As we're watching, Fast now, he's made his way from the back of the field pretty much. He's now in P3. Boston into the pits, taking his mandatory pit stop. So, if I am right here, the rain that is forecasted, which I'm just seeing just come down now, so Forston's timed that one to perfection, will it be enough to inquire to get wet tyres? The boys now, this would be one of the few rounds where we've had mixed weather progression, so this is going to get, as we're watching the rain come down now, all the drivers are going to be very aware. The track still very dry though at the minute, so this is going to be interesting. Did Forston take on wet tyres? The quick on board with Forston there. We cannot see the tyre choice come up, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether he took any tyres at all. I'm guessing with the pit stop he took, he didn't. So, not opting for the wet tyres there at all. We do have a lot of sunshine forecasted for afterwards, so the track should dry relatively quickly as we're looking at the German driver here, back on board with what's going on at the front. Chris, they're very defensive into turn 9. It looks like the rain causing the track to be a little slippery. Trackside now, as we're watching Fast. Will they come into the pit for tyres? Diecross and Chris both come in. Ends in 2. What about Sebastiano? They're going to risk it. Are we going to see all the boys come in there? All these decided to chance it and come out? Fantastic. What about MS shot? MS, where is he coming? He's coming up on the last one. So Delavan now. Where's Delavan? He's coming into the pit. Delavan's decided that it's time. Uzi Style and Tim are both sat on track. So Ollie, Tim, Uzi Style staking out there. And it looks like Kurt's not going to take tyres either. So where is Uber? Uber's in. Okay. So they're trying to make a mental note of this. Diecross, Ayrton, Sebas, Chris, Delavan, all into the pit. Along with Uber. Any of them going at the minute? Let's have them on board. And the first one out is Chris. I think he would have been the second one in. So Diecross, is he going to jump him in the pit? Is Chris going to get the position? He does get the position. He got the position in the pit. Chris, the Team Thunder Racing, he owes the boys a round of drinks. Managed to get him out in front. And Diecross losing a whole lot of positions there. Managed to get out. And Safazo is going to be on the back end of the Team Thunder driver. Now we can really see that rain coming down. The crowd's starting to disperse. Umbrellas being put up into the air. This is what we call cloud seeding. The planes here in the United Emirates go up into the air and fire out flares into the crowd with all sorts of chemicals and induce water. And now we're seeing the track is very wet. Track now definitely for wets. And we're looking at Uber just about coming out. Back with Uber. And look how wide Chris went. The boys definitely struggling getting these wet tyres up to temperature. They will not work until there is some temperature in them. But these boys are side by side coming through turn 9 now. Fantastic. It's Team Thunder Racing versus the Fast Savano race team. And look at that. Round the outside. Beautifully done. Can Chris do anything about it? Doesn't look like it. Not into the draft either. We'll get to have a real look at what the boys are doing down this big ass straight come the end of it. We'd seen speeds of 160 in the dry. I don't think we're going to see that in the wet. At 155. Bit further up, Uzi Styles has managed to find himself in a perfect position. P4 chasing down with Michelle and Tim in front. And look at that, very wide. As Uzi Styles got the tyres on, I'm not sure. And in the background there, the left-handed men, Ollie Marr getting very, very sideways. So these are the boys that didn't come into the pit. And they are struggling. They're out on ice skates. Look at Uzi Styles just trying to put the power down. I expect these boys to be into the pit lane right now. There's no way that those boys can stay out. Here we go. Michelle into the pit. Uzi Styles into the pit. Is Tim in as well? Yeah, so front four, all of them into the pit. Kurt into the pit too, so the one out that hasn't been in is Ayrton Stefano. He has been already into the pit. He has the wet tyres on. He's going to have gained a lot of time with the boys not being able to get around the track properly. All the guys there really tripping over one another coming into the pits and have lost time doing so. Maybe a lap too short there, but Ayrton Stefano now is going to what looks like on lap 6 of this 17 lap, lap 7 of this 17 lap race. He's going to take a pole. Doesn't look like there's anyone there to. As we hear the guys in the pits just about to get going, but who is going there? Somebody in the pits, and it's Uzi Styles. Okay, back with the racing now, and what we have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is Sebastiano chasing down Diecross, a Puerto Rican driver there. Fantastic driving throughout the season, always maintained. I'm super impressed with Diecross, and he's living up to the impressiveness. What's Forsen up to? Found himself on the back end of David, our Italian driver, who, again, has been in the picture from start to finish. He's always had the car in the right places. Back up with Sebastiano now. Check out the weather, ladies and gentlemen. The track is due to dry out, but it's still definitely raining at the minute. We'd like to throw some elements at the drivers, but wasn't too sure about mixed weather conditions. I don't want pit stops to be a factor, or pit stop errors to decide races, because it happens a lot within project cars where the pit crew don't put the tyres on and whatnot. But for night, we're experimenting, and Forsten's watching a very sideways Delavan. Mind you, it did look like a decent line off there. He looked very wide, but managed to pull it back and get a good run down the big ass straight here, 1,200 metres, all of it. And they'll be hard on the brakes, and it looks like Delavan's really is set up well for the top end. Not think Forsten could do it at the minute. Sebastiano's round. Sebastiano is round. Yellow flag, and there we are. Delavan and Forsten Smith are going to pull up onto the back end of him. This is it. These are title contenders, all three of them right here in front of you. Looks like Ayrton Sefasta's just got a little too much for these guys tonight, but look at this. All three of them. 1 second separates them. We're on lap 7. The best thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, we got another 10 of them to go. Anything could happen now, as Delavan is really on the back end of the AMG. The AMG, renowned for being fast in a straight line. Let's take a bit of a wider line through there. We've got to watch out for Forsten behind as well. But Delavan good on the brakes. It did look like Sebas struggled a little bit initially. That's AMG understeering. Just in the background there, you see Forsten stalking. The boys make it round properly. Forsten's going to try and hang it. Ooh, now some overspeed by Forsten. That was definitely a racing incident there. Just Forsten with a lot more speed than the driver behind. Sorry, guys. Just a quick look. Will Forsten try and make his move now? He's pulling out the draft. He's give Delavan plenty of notice there. Delavan looks like he's going to have to concede this one. They're side by side now. Forsten sees Sebastian Stefano in front. Good driving. We're on board now, and it looks like Forsten did manage to get round the corner. He did, and he pulled it up right, got himself set up for this twisty section through 3 and 4. Into 5. That's Lambo very sideways, but good apex hit there by Forsten. Back onto the line. Great line there. Delavan struggling a little bit. A bit of oversteer. Back with the racing. Kurt now. He's side by side with Olimar. Or even, it is Evan and Ollie and Kurt all together. Kurt is looking on the back end of this fight. Fantastic driving. Evan now all over Olimar. The left-handed men being ganged up on here. Kurt Hodgson, our British driver, impressing in the rain. Ollie doing all he can to try and hold on to these positions, and Kurt in the background ready to pick up any pieces. Back with Delavan. Still trying to hunt down Forsten Smith in front of him. What a task he's got, but Forsten's managed to pull out a couple of seconds. The Borsport Sim Racing team seem to have a good setup here. They seem to have done some good testing, and it's definitely worked out. But I'll know a German dad that's very happy watching his boy out in 5th place at the minute. Back with Kurt. Still trying to hunt down Evan. Evan trying to hold on to the back end of Ollie. This isn't going to be easy. Onto the brakes now. Hopefully all the boys can get it stopped. Fantastic shot of the boys. Very close with one another. That is your fight, ladies and gentlemen. P11, 10 and 9, all within a couple of seconds of each other. Wow, as Evan gets very sideways. The Irish driver is not going to surely try and hang it around the outside. He does. Fantastic driving, but he's lost the back end a little bit. He's onto the loose stuff. He's got puddles there. Kurt's going to try and hang it around the outside. Evan a little cheeky there, but good save by Evan. Kurt now with the undercut. Fantastic. Evan's going to have to give him the room. He runs over the puddle too. Kurt's going to have the drive on the outside. Great driving here. Side by side, still coming up into turn 14. Onto the brakes. I think Evan's just about conceded that one. Although Kurt's gone straight on, and so has Evan in the grand scheme of things, but managed to get it popped a little better than Kurt. But yeah, both of the boys are completely missing the braking zone. It wrapped up all in their own fight. And look at Evan, he's just sideways. Every corner I've watched the Irish driver at the minute, that Lamborghini has been sideways. And of course, it looks fantastic, but you're going to struggle to put the power on. It's definitely not the fastest route. And again, if someone's round, it's Ollie, and both Kurt and Evan have had to take evasive action. Good driving by both of the drivers now, but it's left them side by side, and we've got a straight drag straight from turn 16 to turn 1. Something's got to give. This is for P9. Good transferring position. Evan in the Lambo, Kurt in the Audi. Side by side up into turn 1. The Audi looks like it's just about got a bit better grip at this stage in the race, of course. Still a lot of this race to go. 8 laps, of course. Kurt having a bit of a better outing. That Audi looked nothing like it did right there in the sprint. Evan sideways again. He's doing a good job just to keep it pointing in the right direction. Hopefully we've not jinxed the Irish driver. Back up with P1, and what can we say? Ensafas, he's really impressed from the very start of qualifying. He's had the pace, he's had at least 8 attempts on the rest of the field. He's not had to contend too much with traffic, especially in the sprint. He just drove away with a masterclass there, and we're into the feature now. He's made his way through the field like a bread on butter. He has really managed to carve his way through, wasted no time at all doing it. Is pulling a gap to second place, which is our Puerto Rican driver, Dicos. Last time around, though, Dicos only half a second slower than the Argentinian driver. But Stefano putting on a masterclass in the rain. P1 in the sprint. Can he do it again in the future? Only time will tell. Anything can happen in racing, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing stopping that car from spinning out. He's a very accomplished racer. He's got a very wise head on his shoulders, too, as the Argentinian driver. Be surprised to see him make a mistake, but we are human. Back with Evan, what's he up to? It's Lambo on Lambo. It's the Broadsport Sim Racing Motor Team versus the left-handed men. It's like Ollie's got a bit more straight line speed. Fantastic to see. Ollie, of course, our French driver sitting in P8, 8th in the Drivers' Championship on 72 points, looking to score some points, looking to tame the Lambo on the long runs. He's really struggled on the short runs with the Lambo. It's very tail happy, along with everything, in fact. Could apply to him a little bit there as well. Tracksiders, both drivers struggled to put the power down. Let's go on board with Diecross, our Puerto Rican driver. Not losing touch with Ayrton, but last time around was 2 seconds slower. I'm expecting the rain to start dying off soon. Not sure a dry line's going to actually appear, to be fair. I didn't think there'd be as much rain as what there is. And there are puddles forming, so there's all sorts of elements here for our drivers to contend with. And again, here at Motif Racing, with the time we're going through with the coronavirus, we want to shed some positivity and a bit of light on all things that are good. So for this week, the Motif Racing are shining a light on the MS Society and would like you to take a minute of your time to try and get you involved. There are many ways to get involved, from small cash donations via their website www.mssociety.org.uk. There's a very quick and simple process. There's also a fundraising page on there. Every challenge taken, every step taken, every cake sold, every penny earned takes us a step closer to stopping MS. From volunteering and lending a hand or joining the MS network, there are lots of ways to offer your time to help stop MS. From Help Motor Racing and help support the MS Society, visit their website at www.mssociety.org.uk. Cracking work they're doing at the minute within the UK and around the world. I'd like to offer my thanks personally, as it affects me a lot more personally than most, as the MS Foundation, as my fiance suffers with quite an aggressive form of it. So it's a personal note for me, personal touch for me, and I'm glad that our drivers out on night are giving it everything for the cause. I'm very proud to be commentating and co-hosting this league full of some fantastic drivers here tonight. As we're watching Sebastian Stefano try and hunt down the Team Thunder race here, and you've got to think, from what we've seen, it's only a matter of time. Who's been struggling in the sprint, along with Uber, who's now sitting in P12, doing 2 minute 19 laps. Christo, the faster of the two drivers, no disrespect to Uber, he just hasn't found his groove yet with the Bentley. Of course, from Donington onwards, the Bentley team had massive sponsorship coming to there, massive chassis upgrade and aero development. The boys now with a full race team behind them, and they're just trying to understand the data from the testing. I have nothing but high hopes for the Team Thunder Racing that they will come on stronger and stronger as we go. Stefano just feathering the throttle now. Has the rain stopped? It's hard to tell with the spray getting chucked up, but Chris can just about see Diecross in front. Only 4 seconds between him, and the lap time's very similar last time around, so encouraging from the Bentley driver there. Fantastic sounding symphony of the Bentley and the Merc as they come down the big stretch coming into Sector 2. It looks like, for all intents and purposes, Chris takes a very tight line through there, almost hugging the apex, trying to cancel out that puddle that's just after it, but it's hard to distinguish sometimes whether he's actually making a mistake or he's just his preferred line, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. A Polish driver currently P11 in the championships, 2 points off safety. That's Yomko that holds the last safety spot for the championship. I'll just explain how that works. We've got 16 drivers. The top 10 will stay in the elite spot, while the bottom 6 drivers will be relegated. So being in that top 10 spot at the end of the season means everything to the guys. And like I just said, there are points in it for Chris. He's 2 points off safety. Yomko, who's not racing here tonight, so I expect Chris to jump up the order a little bit and get himself into safety, which will be nice for the Team Thunder race team, not to have to worry about being relegated. Better lap last time around. Good driving. There's both drivers that time around faster than the race leader, and with a bit of a slower lap. Diecross managed to find a second last time around, but Ayrton looks very much like he's just dictating the race. He's taking his time. He's not having to push as much as everybody else. Just needs to try and manage it as we're gathering up on the timings. Ollie and Evan are still more or less very close to each other, but a gap developing there as Kurt has managed to pull away. Back on board with Ayrton Stefano. Of course, Ayrton Stefano, part of the Sebastian racing team with Sebastian Stefano, the father and son duo team. Squad goals, if there ever were one, for your father-son team to come on and sim race together. Absolutely love it. just in front there. Looks like that is MS Sharp as a backmarker. Fantastic driving, M Sharp. Thank you very much, my friend. Very aware. Doesn't want to get involved with the scrap that's going on in front. Fantastic to see, no matter where you're out on track, at least we've got the brains out on track there to be very aware. M Sharp, a Dutch driver, 14th in the championship, did miss Bruno, so just trying to find his feet again. As the Bentley comes on and off again, taking a very early line there. I think it's throwing Sebas off a little bit, that line, but Chris is making it work. Kurt now, on the back of Izzy Styles, will go inside that cockpit of the Audi. Through what I like to be like the spoon. It's turn 8 and 9. Onto the big car straight. Will we see Kurt pull up onto the back of Izzy Styles? Will we see a move be made? He's pulling out the draft a little bit. He's letting the Polish driver know he's there. Izzy Styles, 9 points off safety. So these boys fighting over every little bit of track, and it looks like Kurt's gone off it, but look at there. He's kind of bulleted Izzy Styles off the brakes there. Does Ozzy manage to get it stopped? He does. He pulls it back around. He's going to have to try and fight tooth and nail to keep on to P9. Evan's going to close up, but Kurt just pulling out the draft there, letting Ozzy Styles know he was there. Ozzy Styles too busy looking in the mirrors there, caught out a little bit, got onto the brakes, locked up, understeered on. Kurt picks up the spot. Good drive from Kurt. Diecross now, last time around, it's the first for 107. Only other guy on track that's living with that pace at the minute is Forsten. And again, the Team Thunder Mace team is really impressing, although I think he may have a bit of a draft of the car in front, but taking nothing away from the Bentley. Fantastic last time around, the 207 lap time is rapid, especially given what is occurring. So again, we are Motive Racing. This is round 4 of the Motor C Dubai United Emirates. We've got a little bit of diversity there with our sprint fully dry, and now, early morning, coming up on 10 o'clock, the rain is just about to go away, and look at the track. There are dry, little bits of dry line forming. The haze is coming through here. 13 laps down of 17. We have 4 laps to go. The drivers, as you can see on the lap delta, are very much off the best at the minute, but Chris doing a fantastic job. Further back, who's managed to pull a little bit of time, in fact. So Chris with a couple of seconds there, 3 to be exact. That'll be a turn up for the Bucks. Chris Bijuk can keep hold of a podium spot. That'll be a turn up for the Bucks. Nobody's expecting that Bentley to be that far up the grid, and that is no disrespect to either Uber or Chris. It's just a handful. It really is, and especially in this weather. But if anyone can do it, the Polish driver can. We've got full faith, but he has a very much determined Sebas behind him, racing down. We'll have to see how this one develops, but Uzi Style now, again onto the brakes. It looks like definitely a dry line sorted there. Seems to have caught up a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, with Kurt. Kurt may be making a mistake somewhere through the lap, but that gap, quite healthily at 6/10. Looks a lot bigger, but you're on that straight there, and that is what it is. Onto the brakes. Styles, does he get it stopped this time? He doesn't. He's really struggling, is Styles, with turn 10, coming off the big straight. Maybe brake balance. He might have to move the brake balance a little further forward to try and help with stopping that car, but it is looking an absolute handful at the minute for the Polish driver. And Kurt must be rubbing his hands because he's not going to feel too much pressure from behind there as Sebas now comes across the line, a 208, full second quicker than Chris last time round. Chris doing a fantastic job in the Bentley. I will maintain Team Thunder, a lot of testing doing during the week. They've got new chassis for the Bentley upgraded there, new sponsorship, testing very much new bits on the car. High hopes for Chris in this race. The boys are after a top 6 position, so with that said at the minute, Chris holding P3. He has 3 laps to try and hold off what is the raging bull of Sebas behind him in the AMG of the Sebas race team. It'll be a hell of an achievement, but with that said, it's Chris and Uber. We're after top 6 tonight. Uber currently outside of that position, but Chris can more than make that work. Be good to see Chris keep on to that position. Sebas struggling onto the brakes there. Will that give Chris a bit of extra breathing room? You know it will, and we've got a red flag. We've got a yellow flag, sorry. Diecross round. Diecross was round in the turn 9 on the exit of the straight. Hopefully he's not picked up. He has picked up damage. That is a limping car. We've got a yellow flag coming up the start, coming up the long straight, sector 2. Yellow flag, Diecross. Yellow flag, Diecross. Car is limping. Evan into the pit. Is this an unscheduled stop? Let's go trackside. Is he carrying damage? It does look like it. Unfortunately, the camera angle's absolute bollocks, so it's not going to let me look. The Irish driver seems to have picked up a lot of damage there at the front, and that's spelling a bit of a disaster for the Brosport Sim Racing team. They're hoping to pick up some extra points there, but Evan will get back out on track. And we're free to go. We'll see where he comes out. But Dalavan now is closing up on the limping Diecross. Diecross, of course, has a limped car at the minute. I'd be surprised not to see him come into the pit, to be fair, with that amount of damage, but there's nothing forcing him to. Feels like he's going to be able to keep more positions. But that 911 is really in trouble. It's only a matter of time. Evan's still in the box. Interested to see if Diecross actually brings it in or not. Doesn't look as if he is. He thinks because he's going to actually save more time just trying to keep it out than losing the minute or whatnot in the pitch, try and get it fixed. But at the minute, Forston seems to have caught up, and we have a three-way fight on for second and third. Our podium spots are not done. Forston wants in that battle. Seb's already there. Chris P2. And it looks like N has walked away with this one again via any accident or mistake. 7 seconds, very healthy gap. But at the minute, we're watching the fight for what is P2, P3, and P4. 15 laps down, ladies and gentlemen, and my top three drivers here are separated by a second. Then we go back and we've got Dalavan and Diecross fighting just as hard. Of course, Diecross trying to nurse that 911 around. We'll go back with the lead battle, though, for the last remaining podium spot. On board with Forsen Smith now, the Birmingham driver from Berlin, doing a cracking job. Again, his dad watches with keen interest, and I'd like to extend my gratitude for the standings and tables that were completed last week for the GT3 boys. Very much appreciated. Back with the action now, Forston trying to get himself up into them podium spots. The Brosport Sim Racing team definitely need the extra points now. Sebastian doing a good job, but more impressive is Chris, the Team Thunder racing driver, holding on to a top position now, but Forston's there too, so can Chris keep on to a podium spot? He's gone very wide. Will that be both spots in one? Nope. Someone's going to have to come off the gas. Forston and Sebastian very close to one another. Forston kind of boxed in at the minute. Chris getting bullied off to the side. The lads very close to one another. Swapping paint round the corner. Need to be very careful. Chris decided to let that one go. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you joined us at Broad Donington, you've joined us at Par Third Round. These two here have history. Both absolutely fantastically quick racers. But one of them has always had an accident and collected the other with it. So hopefully none of that goes on tonight and we can have a straight fight between Sebastian and Forston. Chris dropping off a little bit, still inside the top 6 spot though. Let's have a quick look at Dalavan up side by side with Diecross now. Our Italian driver finding it difficult to get around the injured 911, but here we go. It looks like he's going to try and fend him off, and Diecross does try and close the door. Realises he's there, and it looks like Dalavan's gone very wide and gone round. I'm not sure if that was a touch by the Italian driver. He seems to think so. Here comes Diecross. Very well marshalled between themselves. Thank you, boys. Forston now, trying everything to get around the Argentinian driver. Fantastic driving. Just to get to see these two go at it. Lap 16. One more lap to go. At the minute, it's Ayrton Savas doing a cracking job out in front. He's got 7 seconds. He's managing the pace. Masterclass so far. Savas Stefano, the second team member of the Savas Serrano race team, and it looks like just about he thought Forston was going to make a move. He was watching the mirrors there. Forston's going to realise that. Maybe stick his nose in, try and make a mistake out of the Savas Stefano race team member. Let's have a look what sort of speeds both drivers are doing up the start-finish. Good exit by Forston. He's going to have the overlap. Here we go. The AMG, though, renowned for its frontline speed, and it looks like Savas is trying to hold on to that right-hand side there. There's no way for Forston to go around. He's going to have to try the left-hand side. Savas is going to try and hold the right-hand side because he can't pull back. Onto the brakes, hard onto the brakes between the pair of them. Forston looking for the cutback, I think, with the line. Fantastic. Where is Savas gone there? Yeah, he just missed the braking zone completely there. So it's Savas now trying to find a way around him, and he's managed to do it already. I think Forston giving Savas the taste of his own medicine there, pushing him out. Savas holding that line all the way up the straight. Hang on, that was a little bit of a tap there. Savas is going to have to at least try and let Forston catch up, because that was a pass to punt to pass if I'd ever seen one as a retaliation. It might have to get sorted out after the race. At the minute, though, Forston, bit of a flash of the lights, but he's got a lap and a half to try and make this happen. What can he do? Where is Ayrton, Savas? There, Ayrton's right. Oh, wow, he's gone sideways too. That gap is coming down. Ayrton's gone down. Let's go run to cockpit cam. Look how close they all are now. P1 just coming round there now. Only with a lap to go. Our top 4 positions separated by 3 seconds. Look at it, and he made that mistake there. Forson's going to have the inside now. Is Sebastian going to try and use the draft of the MG in front? I think he is a little bit. Forson left hand got to dry a little bit. Can he sneak in up on the inside? Does look like he's got that position. He hasn't. On to the brakes. Who's going to brake later? Sebastian very fair gets into the room there, pulling back onto the line, but there's nothing in it now, guys. That is P1 out in front, and the tyres look absolutely short. And Sebastian with an absolute masterclass from the sprint to the feature. That's the first mistake I have seen him make, and is that a sign that the tyres are gone on the Merc? Are we going to see some real overtaking positions happen here on the last lap? As Forson tries to stick on the inside, he's there. There's got to be the room. Merc putting the power down too. Wow, that was super close by the drivers there. And Sebastian seems to have collected it back up together again. Oh, here we go. He's going to have to come off the power. Forson had to come off the power there. He would have lost the back end of the car. Good driving. Nothing he could do. If he stuck on the power there, he would have gone down and he definitely lost the third position. And Sebastian now, our Argentinian driver, has had an absolute masterclass. I'll say it again. From start to finish, has made the one mistake though, so look, his invincibility wearing a little bit thin, but still, we have a race on, ladies and gentlemen. Behind there, Forson trying his best to try and catch up with Sebastian Stefano, currently P3. Chris behind, ready to pick up any pieces, and if any the races are anything to go by, there has been drama on the last couple of corners, but as it stands at the minute, Cockpit can't, with a German driver. Not going to be happy with P3. It really was like tooth and nail for P2. Maybe an inquiry, who knows? But at the minute, the boys have driven absolutely fantastic. Wow, Sebastian super late onto the brakes there. Did manage somehow to get it pulled around, but that's going to be a slowdown, surely. No, maybe get away with it a little bit because it's in the rain. Forson now, up the trumpet. He's got to back off again. Wow, the boy's sideways. It's Ed Sebastian. He's going to come across the line. We will keep an eye in the background, though. And Sebastian comes across the line. He's going to take P1 in the feature. Well done, buddy. And just behind it, Sebastian's going to hold on to it. Chris with a hell of an out in there. Congratulations, my friend. The Polish drive for the Team Thunder with P4. Dalavan doing what he's done all season and picked up good, consistent point. The Italian driver coming across the line for P5. Well done, Dalavan. Good driving. Dicross bringing home that injured 9-11 in P6. Good driving by Dicross. It's like Tim's going to manage to come around there. Tier 2 driver. Good driving by Dicross again. He didn't pit. Stuck it out there with the damage. Managed to keep on to P6. I'm sure we'd have seen him a lot further down the order if he'd have come into the pit. So Tim Mosky coming across the line. P7. A good outing by our newly promoted Tier 2 driver into the elite. Was it Styles? P8. This is some good points here now for our driver. It's a fantastic outing by the Polish driver. He's definitely going to see him shoot up and improve. So P8, just about, not quite over the line yet. Super close there with second, third, and fourth. Could have been anybody's on the last lap. Fantastic. So Aussie Style is going to bring it home for P8 and should be happy about that. Good points for the 488 driver. Well done, buddy. Kurt with a much better race than the sprint. Should be happy with that. Very good to see the Audi get a solid result inside of a top 10 position. Olimar, where is he on track? He is going to finish the race inside of a top 10 position. The left-handed men picking up a couple more extra points. Where is Ubar on track? Ubar definitely struggling. You see the line there, completely different than his teammates. Takes a much wider line, but Olimar is going to take the last top 10 safety position. A P10, providing he manages to get round the corner. Again, while the eyes and audience, please come and join the Discord server. We've got many car classes and races for you to join, all broadcasted live up onto the channel. Link in the description. Olimar, P10, well done, buddy. Tough, hard race there from the French driver. Ubar, the Flying Dutchman, must be disappointed, especially watching his teammate there, P4, but... You know, there's a yin and yang to that. He knows the car's good now. He knows the car's got some performance in it. His teammates managed to put it up the order into P4. Ubar still very much trying to get to grips with the Bentley. Hopefully, we can see him out in our next round and a lot more stronger. So if anything to go by Chris, good result. MS Schalt, P13. Evan is going to bring it home in the last spot. Definitely damage for Evan there, our Irish driver from Tiffany, but congratulations to Evan.